Young and the Restless spoilers reveal Sharon's dramatic escape plan. Sharon Newman is handcuffed and left in the cold darkness. Her breath is choked by the musty smell and stench of river water. The SUV that was her means of transportation is now submerged in the river, a clear testament to the ruthlessness of Jordan, who is carrying out Ian Ward's plan. However, Sharon's fate is still hanging in the balance when Jordan decides to keep her alive, at least for now. Left alone in the dark, Sharon gradually loses control. The flickering lights from her memories turn into hallucinations, and Cameron Kirsten, a shadow of her dark past, appears. Cameron is not a stranger. He was once Sharon's biggest obsession, the one who caused her to fall into terrifying dreams with no way out. But this time, Cameron is more than just a terrifying hallucination. He appears as a mentor, a superpower for Sharon in a difficult situation. Cameron taunts Sharon, encouraging her to fight to survive. "If you want to get out of here, Sharon, you have to be stronger than anyone. Don't let them win," Cameron says, his eyes piercing Sharon's soul. Sharon begins to wonder, is Cameron just a hallucination caused by fear, or has he really become a force in her mind? In her desperation, Sharon decides to try to believe his encouragement. Ian Ward and the cruel plan. Meanwhile, in a luxurious hotel room, Ian Ward, the mastermind behind it all, is sitting on a sofa, calmly drinking a glass of wine. Jordan enters, her face cold but slightly uneasy. She has captured Sharon as Ian asked, but Ian's plan makes her uncomfortable. Ian makes a cruel decision: Sharon must die. It would be poetic justice if she died in the exact spot where Heather Stevens was found, Ian says, emphasizing each word like a death sentence. He wants to make Sharon a part of his power game, where every piece of the puzzle is beneficial to him. However, Jordan no longer wants to be Ian's pawn. Although she has followed his orders in the past, she begins to feel the burden of his dirty deeds. In particular, she understands that Ian always keeps his hands clean, while she is the one who bears all the risks. This causes Jordan to start planning her own plan. Jordan and the silent rebellion. Jordan decides to lie to Ian. She announces that Sharon has swum with the fishes, a way of implying that Sharon died in the river. But in reality, she keeps Sharon alive in a room near the river. She leaves Sharon food and water, not out of pity, but because she needs a card to use against Ian if things get out of hand. However, Jordan knows the danger of her situation. If she is caught or something happens, Sharon will die. The isolated room that no one knew about would become Sharon's grave if no one came to save her in time. Sharon's battle for survival. In the cold room, Sharon refused to give in to fate. Remembering Cameron's words, she tried to find a way to free herself. With ingenuity, she discovered a small crack in the handcuffs. She used all her strength to try to break it. Meanwhile, the hallucination of Cameron continued to appear, cheering her up every time she wanted to give up. "Who are you if you don't fight, Sharon? Just a weakling or a woman willing to protect herself?" Cameron sarcastically said. After hours of struggling, Sharon finally broke the handcuffs. But freedom did not come easily. Outside the room, Jordan suddenly appeared. "You think you can escape so easily?" Jordan sneered, holding a small gun. Direct confrontation. The confrontation between Sharon and Jordan was tense to the point of suffocation. Sharon is no longer the weak woman Jordan kidnapped. With the mental support of Cameron, she tries to put Jordan at a disadvantage. In a moment of surprise, Sharon grabs a nearby hard object and hits Jordan's hand, causing the gun to fall to the ground. The two struggle fiercely. Finally, Sharon turns the tables and subdues Jordan. "You could have killed me," Jordan says, his voice defiant. But Sharon doesn't do it. Instead, she flees the room, hoping to survive. Sharon, now free, must find a way to warn others about her captivity and Ian's plot. But time is not on her side. Ian and those close to her have discovered that Sharon is alive and are hunting her down. On the muddy riverside road, Sharon flees, carrying with her the belief that she will never let fate decide her life again. Her journey is not only to save herself, but also to expose the terrible secrets of Ian and Jordan to the light. Sharon Newman has always been at the center of dramatic stories, but this time, she faces her biggest challenge yet, herself. Throughout her days of chaos and danger, Cameron Kirsten, a ghost from the past, seems to have become her guide. But what is Cameron? A hallucination, an alter ego, or the dark side of Sharon's mind? Cameron and the mysterious appearance. Cameron begins to appear at Sharon's lowest moments, when she doesn't know what to do. He first appears right after the death of Heather Stevens, an incident that leaves Sharon completely shaken. She doesn't remember anything that happened, but Cameron does. He appears, calm and cold, instructing her on how to clean up the mess. He even directs her on how to handle the media, making the news cover in the most favorable light for her. Every time Sharon faced a difficult situation, Cameron returned, like a voice in her head, powerful and overwhelming. When the police questioned her, Cameron appeared as a guardian, teaching her how to stay calm, to avoid saying anything harmful. But what confused Sharon the most was Cameron's existence. Was he just a hallucination, or was it a part of her mind that was coming to life to protect her from the dangerous world? Sharon's psychological questions. Sharon had been diagnosed with bipolar disorder and was taking medication. But why did she have such powerful hallucinations? According to medicine, the symptoms of bipolar disorder take a long time to recur, longer than 24 hours. So the possibility of Sharon having dissociative identity disorder, DID, began to be raised. DID, also known as dissociative identity disorder, often occurs after a person has experienced severe trauma. Sharon, with her tragic and traumatic past, may have created Cameron as an alter ego, a strong person to help her deal with situations she couldn't handle on her own. Or perhaps Cameron wasn't an alter ego at all, but rather an image Sharon unconsciously imitated. She didn't know what to do, so she imagined Cameron, someone who had a strong influence on her, to guide her. Whatever the truth, Cameron wasn't just a negative illusion. He was the most powerful weapon Sharon could use in this situation. Cameron, enemy or ally? Jordan returned, carrying a direct threat to Sharon's life. In those moments, Cameron appeared again, and this time, he didn't just stand by and watch. He told Sharon about the things around her that she could use as weapons. A rotten piece of wood, an old chair, even the iron handcuffs on her hands. Cameron gave her step-by-step instructions, from how to distract Jordan to the exact moment to strike. Don't think too much, Sharon. Just do what I say. When she gets close, kick her in the knee. When she falls, grab the gun. Finish her right away, Cameron whispered, his voice sharp but commanding. Sharon followed every instruction, as if Cameron were not just a voice in her head but a true commander. But when Sharon gained the upper hand, Cameron did not stop. He continued to press, forcing Sharon to eliminate Jordan once and for all. If you let her live, she will come back. You will never be safe? You know what to do, he said, his eyes invisible but haunting. Sharon and the inner struggle. Although Cameron provided strength and wisdom, Sharon could not help but feel that his presence was pushing her down a darker path. He is not just a voice, but a manifestation of all her fears, her traumas, and her desire to survive. Sharon realizes that Cameron does not want her to run. He wants her to fight, to become the strongest person to face any danger. But Sharon is not sure she can follow. If she kills Jordan, what will she become? A victim fighting to survive, or someone who has lost her humanity because of despair? Sharon begins to realize that Cameron is not a true ally. He is just the most primal part of her, pushing her to do whatever it takes to survive. Even though Cameron is an illusion, Sharon decides to use him in her own way. Instead of completely listening to Cameron, she begins to figure out a way to use what he says without losing her humanity. When Jordan approaches, Sharon does not kill her as Cameron requested. Instead, she distracts her, attacking hard enough to escape. Cameron, of course, is not pleased. He screams in Sharon's head, trying to get her to come back and end things. But Sharon ignores him. She realizes that, while Cameron can help her get out of difficult situations, she ultimately has to take control of her own life. Can Sharon use Cameron for good? In a world where most people view hallucinations as negative,